Like a lot of my creating, I think, is just letting my ADHD roam free. It's almost like I'm not even there. I love that there's artists that don't do how I do it. I don't think I'll change anything about myself, but it's really relieving to know that everybody has completely different processes and that you can change if you want to. Sometimes when I get hyperfixated, it's like the best form of meditation. I'm not thinking about anything, and it's the only time I'm not thinking about anything. I love it. It's addictive. The process is the bit that you like. It's not about the end result. How privileged are you to be able to be in your studio painting? Enjoy it. And the process is like, that really is the best part of anything. And people just think about like, I just really want to finish it. I just want to finish it to show people. And it's like, but then you're missing out on the good part.
Before we get into this episode, I just want to thank you for being here. I started this podcast to spark conversations that inspire, creatively, personally, and everything in between. So if you'd like to support that mission, the best way is to hit that subscribe or follow button wherever you're watching or listening to this. That'll help other creative minds discover us and also ensures that you won't miss any of the incredible guests that we've got coming up. Because when this passion is shared, it grows exponentially. So thank you, and now let's get stuck into it. I like being busy, and there's also like a degree of panic in my busy because I'm just trying to make things work, as in like build momentum. And I've got this thing where like I feel as though that if I'm not doing something, momentum is going to slow down.
Yeah.
Even with this,
but you got to do it.
What, slow down?
Yeah. Well, like I'm the same where it's like really hard to slow down and switch off and have a break.
Yeah.
So you kind of have to force yourself, I think.
Yeah, you do. It's hard for me to know when the right time is to be taking breaks.
Yeah. Well, also you've got family too. Different when you've got kids, I can imagine.
And it does get hard because then what happens is that I'm trying to do a lot of stuff to then create space to spend time with the family, like because both me and my wife work for ourselves, so we did that was intentional to have the flexibility, to spend time and to be with the kids whenever we need to be.
Yeah,
like today she did drop off, and later on I'm gonna go do pickup while she has the afternoon. So every day is a bit of a juggling act.
Yeah,
but there are times when I'm like have a bit of momentum and have a bit of flow going on, and then I've got to go attend to the kids or whatever life responsibility.
I'd find that really hard.
It is hard.
When you get stuck in the hyperfixation, you don't want to get out of it. Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's hard.
And when, like, with this podcast, I'm trying to get back into a cadence of one episode a week, which I find really hard to do. I don't know how Maloney's
one a week is a lot.
I think it's a lot.
Yeah.
I think it's a lot. Like, I'm, at the moment, sitting on one a fortnight. There was a period there when I could do one a week, but I remember that was like really like hauling ass to get one a week done.
Yeah.
Because it's not just this sit down. This is the fun
No,
bit, right?
Then there's the editing and like everything else that goes behind it. And like people don't realize how intense social media can be and how much work it is.
Yeah.
Actually, that's not true. Everybody has social media now.
Everyone gets it. I don't think there's anybody that embraces it. And like I haven't actually sat across from someone and has told me how much they love social media.
No, I don't. Me neither. I don't think anybody really does. I think you just like have this opportunity these days to be able to start a business or show people your creative work because you can have a platform to show people. So of course you're going to.
Yeah.
But it's work.
It's work.
I don't think anyone really likes it.
No, and it's not. And it doesn't really fit in with the work that you're trying to do. It's a whole separate discipline in and of itself that you have to try to learn how to do. And
I enjoy some elements of it though, I will say.
Yeah.
Like I love posting. This is so silly. I wonder if this is like an ADHD thing. I love posting and looking at my page and seeing how like coherent like all of the colors and everything are.
Yep.
Like when it looks really good and I've just posted a photo and that like adds to the look of my page, I get so much dopamine from
You
that.
you do it really well.
Thank you.
You have
Maybe because there's dopamine attached to it, right?
Okay, yeah.
Yeah.
But like you show up as well. You show up really well. You have a great presence about it. You can see that there's like you bring your energy to it. Where I know there's a lot of artists that hide behind the social media where they use that as a way of not showing themselves and showcasing their work.
Yeah. I think I go through periods of not showing myself, and I find that the engagement it just drops.
Mm-hmm.
So it's actually like the more I talk, I think the more like I talk in my stories and people like know who I am and that I'm actually like fairly down to earth, that's what they like, and then they like the art.
They both complement each other really well.
Yeah, right.
Because your personality comes through your work, and your work is a representation of your personality. You in particular.
That's nice to hear. I've never thought about that.
Yeah, right. Because I guess that it just comes through because it seems authentically you.
Yeah, right.
So there is that they both have the same kind of energy to it. So when people are able to see the person behind the work, it explains the work a bit further,
yeah,
right? And it gives it more context and more substance to it.
Yeah. I always just find, I think as well, I go online so much more and put in like quite a bit of effort because I also know I just know that's what people want and it's what I want. I love seeing behind the scenes of anything.
Yeah.
Anything, especially creative stuff. So like the more behind the scenes I can show people of my process, I think the more attached they get to the artwork.
Then there has to be some sort of intentionality because then you'll set up the shot to show this is how I do it.
Yeah.
Right? Like because you're a one-woman operation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Tripods are my other.
Yeah.
Tripods are my colleagues.
Makeshift kind of tripods.
Yeah. You go into my studio, there's like a bird's eye view one over my desk. There's one at my other, I have 4 desks. There's like a bird's eye view of every single one and then like a tracking one. Like
so
it's just all the time.
Setup. You
Well, I find that if you don't have that, that's when social media gets hard.
Yeah.
It's like if you don't have the setup ready to go, and I also film everything. I don't post everything, but there's this TikTok sound that's like a little song and it's like everything is content and those are the lyrics. I'm not going to sing it, but it'll probably come up in feeds now. But it's this little song and I just have it on repeat in my head where I'm like, everything is content. So like even like a time lapse of me packing envelopes.
Yep.
I can post that to my story and be like, Patreon's coming out soon. Like stuff like that. But I think a lot of people don't film everything because they think it's like boring content.
I think it's probably not necessarily boring, but to your point about like having the setup and ready to go.
Yeah,
I think
true.
it just makes it hard work, extra layers.
If you don't have a spot to like set your phone up right away and you've got to set that up, by the time you do it, you don't want to do that anymore. It's like if you want to paint a picture and you have to get everything out of the cupboard and set it all up. By the time you like sit down to paint or to draw, you're like, that took my energy doing that.
Yeah, that's a good point.
And the creativity sometimes can like lapse in that moment. That's why I find that just have the setup ready to go at any time.
That's a great point, and that's one I'm going to have to go back to because once upon a time, so there's 3 cameras set up here, right? Mm-hmm. And I used to have a 4th one here, which was a tripod with an iPhone.
Yeah.
And the point of that was to record this whole situation to show it like a bit of a behind the scenes because this is a one-person operation as well.
Yeah.
So it's hard for me to be like filming my interaction with the guest.
Yeah, of course, because you're interviewing at the same time.
Actually, like even, when you're walking through, when you're coming through the door, it'll be great to be able to have someone to capture that, right?
Yeah, totally.
All that kind of stuff.
Yeah.
But I'm not gonna like get you to walk through the door and I'll be like, hang on, let's
do that again.
Let's do that again.
Yeah.
So it's so I used to have a camera set up here and I did it for one and then I just totally forgot about it.
Right.
But I think I might go back to that and just try to chop that up and insert it into it just for a bit of the behind the scenes because I've found that when I'm taking a photo of me just sitting here, a selfie of my point of view just to show this.
Yeah.
That gets pretty good interaction and
Yeah,
engagement.
people love behind the scenes.
Yeah.
Like that's just what it is.
Yeah. And then
even if you had like a time lapse facing like and showing the cameras, like even like just where those curtains are or whatever. I think people just really like it. And then you can be like, new episode coming soon.
My most watched reel was when I first moved in here and I set the space up for the first time, and I had a camera, a time lapse video of me setting it up,
Yeah.
and that went boop, 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 boop,
Yeah,
like thousands.
'cause
I'm
people
like,
love
fuck,
it.
man.
People love
It's
it.
like, watch the podcast.
I know. I'll like paint a picture and then I'll be like, why is this video of me packing envelopes and stamping envelopes got like the most interaction? And I think a time lapse too is really good because people like anything fast now.
Yeah.
Like they don't have I've never had a very long attention span, but because of the internet, everybody's is shortened.
Mm-hmm.
So I think doing a time lapse is just like people can just watch you and everyone's like, wow, you work so fast.
I've seen a lot of artists. I watch a lot of, I guess, like just process videos of people just sitting there painting, right?
Yeah.
And when I'm drawing, the visual diary, the sketch pad is constantly being shifted around and moving around, and I'm all in awkward positions, this and that. So I'm watching someone with a camera, like a top down, and they have their piece of paper, whatever it may be, just sort of masked down.
Yeah, and they don't move it around.
How do they do that?
Yeah.
You know?
Have you ever tried drawing or painting on a Lazy Susan?
Oh, that makes a lot of sense.
I did it. I
Yeah.
don't know. I don't want to claim that I came up with it.
Yeah, that's great.
But I might claim that I came up with it because I don't know of anybody else doing it. But when I was painting, I had some round pieces in my last exhibition. I put it on Lazy Susan and I was like, this is a real hack.
That is.
Like you should give it a go. But I can't do the masking. And on an easel, I can't paint on an easel. I move my stuff around too.
Now I'm thinking, is there a way to there, like, have the Lazy Susan and rig a camera to that, so everything is constantly.
Yeah, that's actually quite good.
Yeah.
You could get one of those arm ones.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, I just got a Lazy Susan from Kmart, but you can
It's like
get
a
like
little one?
proper good ones. It's like this big.
Yeah.
But if you got like a really good big one, you could paint canvases on that.
For sure.
Yeah, and I just blue tack stuff down, and then I did like these little sculptures too. Like I have this little cowboy sculpture that I did, and he was on a Lazy Susan, and I was like moving it around.
That's a great hack.
Yeah, it is a good hack.
Making things, I guess, that you'll just have that natural inclination to be like, I'm going to make that.
Yeah, I do get really distracted by it though.
About just making.
Yeah, like I remember there was this. We had like a festival where I was doing a market a few years ago at this festival called Sheila's Shakedown, and me and my employee at the time were getting ready for it, and it was so much stock. We had so much work to do, but I decided like the day before that I wanted to make a Wheel of Fortune. For no reason. Like for for reasons. It would be really fun and it would be cool. And I'd put my merch on it and whatever. And I still use it to this day for markets. But I was like up all night. Like she was packing the whole shop and doing like everything. Because I just get really carried away with being like, I have to make that and I have to make it right now. And if I don't, I cannot rest.
How do you go drawing a line in the sand? Because you're busy. I feel as though that you're constantly working on stuff.
Yeah.
And last month, it was a month ago when you had the that open day and you just had a bunch of stuff.
Yeah.
You were for all different sorts of stuff.
Yeah.
Like, do you have a problem, or do you have this problem where it's hard for you to draw a line in the sand and saying that this is enough?
Yeah, big time. Big time. Yeah. I actually have learnt this lesson though. I feel like I'm better today. I had an exhibition 3 years ago.
Yeah.
And as I was prepping, it was huge. I didn't mean it to get huge. I hired the space 2 years prior at Honeybones, which is Jess's place. And so I hired that out and then I had 2 years to prep. And so I would just kind of like potted away at it, and then like maybe a year before the exhibition was coming up, I was like, I'm going to really buckle down and like get a lot of stuff done. And then by the time it was all ready to go, there were 90 pieces.
Jeez.
There's too many. It was too many. And then I thought there was only going to be 40 pieces, and we didn't know until the night before when we counted everything that that's how many there were. And I was like,
oh,
that's too many, because it kind of took away from each piece being special.
Yeah, I get that.
Because I just was churning it out. I think I love each piece, but, you know, I was like, I should have just focused on a smaller amount. And then the admin that comes behind 90 pieces, like you've got to put every single one of those pieces on a website, write a caption for every single one, price everything, like work it all out. Like it was so much work. And then this exhibition came round, and instead of just like continuing to create work, I cut it off like a month before.
Right.
Whereas
Okay.
but the last exhibition, I was painting up until the night before. Painting pieces for the exhibition the next day.
But you're like, all right, you're a maker of things.
Yeah.
So there's no real distinction between what you make. Right?
Yeah.
As in, like, it's all a spectrum of stuff. and
It is.
things.
It's just stuff. Yeah.
So there's like,
I love different mediums. I guess. Yeah.
So, like when you have an exhibition, I'm going to assume that it's going to be made up of a variety of different things, right? It's not like when an artist comes in, a visual artist,
Yeah.
and they decide they're going to have an exhibition. There's going to be a theme about it,
Yeah.
and they're already going to maybe somewhat from the start have a bit of a loose plan of I'm going to have X number of pieces. They're going to vary in this size.
Yeah.
I want to have this different types of offerings.
This is the total opposite. to
Yeah,
my
right. Because
process.
like, how would you then? Because you have such an array of offerings.
Yeah.
We're talking from like sticker packs, badges, pins,
Yeah.
through to I don't know, like large. You could even have like some sort of wood painting.
Yeah.
right?
Yeah. It does. It ranges from those things. I don't think necessarily what I do is like the smartest way to go about it. It's more like, I also don't know if this is an ADHD thing, but if I set myself a date
Yeah.
in the future that's like have an exhibition by then I just get really excited to create.
Yeah.
I never go like, I'm going to have 40 pieces. It's going to be on this one topic. There's going to be a theme, which I actually don't think is necessarily good. I would like to do that one day and like really plan it out. But the only way exhibitions have ever come up for me is because I've thrown myself in the deep end and just been like, oh my God, I'm so excited to create. Like I haven't played with that clay that I bought, or I haven't played with that medium, or like sculpture I haven't done in a while. I haven't painted anything on timber for a while. I'm just going to like, and I just let myself go. And that's when the art happens.
There's
No
this,
structure.
but I think that's fine because when we were just talking earlier about how with your social media, your presence there, your work and you are intrinsically tied together, right? There is a synergy there.
Yeah.
So there's like one of the things that I've observed that there's some artists that, when I was saying that they hide behind their work, they showcase their work and less about them. But then there's also artists who are almost like the brand ambassador. Mm-hmm. And what I mean by that, I don't like the term personal brand. I find that really icky. But for a lack of a better term for that, there are some artists that are artists first and foremost, and then the work that they put out is just an extension of them. So I'll give you an example, right? So Cause. So he's an artist illustrator. The guy that does like these, they look almost cartoony. He does like, for example, Sesame Street collaboration where the eyes are those X's.
Oh, yeah, of course, yeah.
So Cause is a brand in and of itself, and the work is almost secondary to the name Cause.
Yeah.
You look at the work and you instantly recognize it's his. So he doesn't necessarily paint on canvas. He does, but it's not just painting on canvas. There is also sculptural pieces that he does, a lot of collaborations.
That sounds much more what I go towards.
Yep. So like you as Ginger Taylor, you make things which are an extension of you rather than them being what it is that you do. I'm trying to
I know what you mean though. I do understand exactly what you mean.
Yeah, so like you are in a way without knowing it, or maybe you do, without realizing that you are a brand.
Yeah. It definitely happened accidentally that way, which I feel a lot of my stuff has happened accidentally that way. It kind of was just more like, this is my name.
Mm-hmm.
I need an Instagram handle for it. And I didn't really think about, like Cause, for instance. I don't know if is that his actual name?
Don't think so.
Yeah, right. So a lot of people have like what's it called when
Pseudonym?
Yes.
Yeah.
Right? I never did that, and not for any reason. It's just that it blew up and I didn't change it.
Yeah.
So like people are like, you've created this brand around yourself. I'm like, it wasn't intentional. I actually think now I would have loved to go back and been like, called it something else.
Ginger Taylor sounds like a brand. It doesn't even sound like a real name.
Yeah, that's the thing. I think that's why it works though, right? Like I even last week was like, do I just change it to Ginger? Like I don't know. And then because sometimes I'm at markets and I'll have my big like sign up that says Ginger Taylor, and somebody took a photo of me recently underneath it, and I was like, it looks a little bit like narcissistic in a way.
I get
I
what you mean.
don't think other people think that, but it must be an insecurity.
I think
of
it
my
might,
own.
yeah, because I think that is entirely just projection.
Yeah. I think it's definitely an insecurity of mine. Like I've spoken to some people about this and they're like, no, it doesn't look like that at all. It's like this brand you've created. I'm like, yeah, but sometimes I wish it wasn't my name.
Yeah.
I would love to hide behind it a little bit, but I've not allowed myself to do that.
There's a lot of strength in it though, right? There's
Yeah,
a lot
I think that's what I've realized over time.
Yeah, there's a lot of power in it.
Yeah.
Like, so when you say that it wasn't intentional, this is why I don't like the term personal brand, because once you have a label like a personal brand, then there's a lot of consideration that goes into curating what that is meant to look like.
Yeah.
Whereas that if there is no thought that, oh, I'm going to create a personal brand, you're just doing you.
Yeah.
And then once you
That's how it's authentic.
yeah. And then
Yeah.
that's kind of how it's just happened.
Yeah.
You know, like you could have it. So for example, when I was much younger, having the name Wayne, I was so insecure about that.
Really?
Yeah. I find it to be
right.
such a strange oddball name. And then definitely for an Asian.
Really? I love the name Wayne. Wayne's World. Come on.
Well, okay, so that made it cool. But like when I
Yeah.
was younger, when I was a little kid, it just didn't sit right that there was like
Yeah.
a little Asian kid named Wayne.
Yeah. Understandable.
Yeah, but no, as I've gotten older, I've just learnt it is what it is, and
Yeah.
you can own it,
Yeah.
and that is the point of difference, right? Like
Yeah.
it is unique in a way.
Yeah. It's so funny the things we're insecure about when we're little.
Yeah,
It's crazy.
everything,
Yeah.
the dumbest shit.
Such a funny thing.
Yeah, so when you make things, I know a handful of makers, and I think that's the appropriate delineation of what
Yeah.
it is.
It pretty
right?
much is like, that's the best way to describe
And-
it. I've worked out at this point.
A maker.
Yeah.
And I strongly see a strong correlation between ADHD
Yeah.
and makers.
This is the thing with the no structure thing that we were tapping into before as well. I think that's a big ADHD thing. Like a lot of my creating, I think, is just letting my ADHD roam free. It's almost like
Embracing it.
I'm not even there. Does that make sense? Well, I am there, but it's kind of like this.
You're just a passenger in the process.
Yeah, it's like you're along for the ride of your own ADHD, which is a weird concept, or like it's hard to explain, I guess. But it's kind of, sometimes when I get hyperfixated, it's like the best form of meditation.
Yeah.
I'm not thinking about anything, and it's the only time I'm
That's
not
that
thinking
flow
about
state.
anything. I love it. It's addictive.
Yeah. And that's I think for creatives, and not just creatives, I think that anybody, that is the thing that they're gearing towards.
Yeah.
There is something in that flow state. I was once upon a time working on this virtual reality project, and part of that was trying to see the best way of us developing motor skills in virtual reality by plugging into a virtual avatar.
Cool.
Yeah, and what we found was that the best way for you to learn something is to get into that meditative flow state, which is what you're talking about, right? So when you're actively, when you say that you're a passenger in the process of doing something, you're in this alpha brainwave state, which is like very similar to meditation.
Right.
So
This is
that's-
interesting because I've always described it as meditation, but I didn't know
It
it was an
is.
actual
It
thing.
actually is like meditation.
For
right?
ADHD people in particular?
Just for everybody.
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 Cool.
Yeah. So if you're doing something, like for example, a musician, they're not actively thinking about what keys they're pressing. They're just doing it.
Like
right?
autopilot.
It's autopilot. So initially when you are learning an activity, your attention is on all the steps, every single step.
Yeah.
And then through repetition, you're able to then bank that into a different part of your brain.
Yeah. So you can go on autopilot
You go on
later with it.
autopilot, right? So when you're in this autopilot, that's when you're in the best state to learn. And then not just to learn, but then to create and to make.
Yeah, I guess because there's no distractions. Like you're not going to be able to learn something if you've got 300 things going on in your head.
Yeah, and it
So
just
if you're
comes
already
through
in
practice.
a flow state, that's
Yeah.
cool.
Yeah, so
Interesting.
there's many ways, and like surfers, apparently like surfing, that's one of the best ways to induce it. Learning a new activity, but not in the early stages. It will just be as you're starting to develop it, that skill a little bit more. You're
Yeah.
able to then put the attention on the actual doing of it rather than the learning.
Yeah,
of it.
right.
And it becomes addictive, right?
Yeah.
Because it's a very calming state, and there's high reward in doing the thing that you're doing
Yeah.
to a level that you feel is not bad, right? Like when
Yeah.
you're learning something, it can be very clunky, but then over time, when it's starting to become a little bit more refined, there's reward in that, and I think that's also part of what we seek.
Yeah, definitely. The reward is always like sometimes I find it hard to get to the reward with learning if I'm learning anything that's not creative.
Okay.
So like yeah, I kind of have like a bit of a fear with learning new things because I'm kind of one of those people where it's like if I'm not good at it right away, I don't get that dopamine. And creative stuff, for lack of a better word or term, I'm good at right away. That sounds egotistical, but it's just the way it is.
When you say creative stuff, do you mean in the actual execution, the doing of it, or the conceptualizing of it?
The doing it.
Yeah.
Like anything creative, I think it's just because I grew up in a creative family. It was just
Yeah.
like honed into me from a kid. So of course, like anything creative, I can kind of pick up and I'm good at it right away. But if it's not creative and I can't get it right away, like musical instruments stress me out.
How's that not creative though?
It is creative, but not in the way that I have creative in my head, like art.
Yeah.
Music, very creative, but it's not my sort of creative. So if I'm not good at it right away, I start to panic. I'm not good at learning.
I think could it be, and this is what I've thought about music as well, because I'm terrible at music. My son, he's learning how to play the drums.
Yeah.
And he's there trying to teach me, you got to do this thing with this foot.
Drums,
Confuses me.
oh my God.
I can't do it.
I can't. But then this is an ADHD thing, definitely, but I start to feel really panicked. Like I remember when I was going for my driver's license when I was 16 and then I gave up and then re-got it at 23. But even at 23, I like all those years in between, I just had this like fear of learning.
Yeah. Okay.
Like as soon as somebody starts to be like, oh no, don't do it this way, do it this way, I feel personally attacked. And that's a symptom of ADHD called RSD. Do you know about this?
No, go on.
Rejection sensitive disorder.
Ah.
So if you get rejected,
Yeah.
which actually isn't rejection, it can just be like feedback.
Yeah.
You immediately are like, oh my God, I've done it wrong. I'm not good at learning. And it takes you back to being a kid and feeling really stupid in class.
Right.
Like mine, I immediately, like I remember once I was in primary school and the teacher was at the front and she described this math problem on the whiteboard. And I loved this teacher too, except this story isn't that great, what she did. She was describing it, wrote it all out, everybody, and then she was like, okay, everybody like do the problem. And I put my hand up and I was like, I don't understand. And she was like, I just explained it, and got really angry at me and sent me out of class.
Oh my God.
Instead of teaching me the way, like, isn't that the whole point of being a teacher student? That
Yeah.
the teacher would be like, I don't know what was going on with her that day. She was actually great every other day. But she sent me out of class. And then I never, ever, from that point, I remember I was 8, I never asked another teacher or told anybody I didn't understand it. I just avoided learning it.
Oh, that's one of those memories that's like banked there and it's just shifted core memory that shifted your life.
And I, like even
The sliding
recently,
doors
I was
moment.
learning how to do laser tattoo removal. I'm not doing it anymore because I got my art picked up again. But I was learning that and I remember feeling really stupid because I couldn't pick up on these numbers and like this. It's actually quite technical. and I wasn't getting it.
Yeah.
And I immediately felt my eyes like welling up and I had to go to the bathroom. And I felt my throat like closing over a bit because I was like, I feel like I'm 8-year-old Ginger in that classroom again.
Oh my goodness.
Like it's crazy the triggering with learning that happens. And I think that's why I do stick to art and I've made a full-time job of it because I'm a little bit too scared to learn anything new.
Wow.
Because I'm immediately good at the art.
Mm-hmm.
Anything that I'm not immediately good at, freak out.
Maybe, and this is just me just talking shit, that with art, there aren't any guardrails. And like with music, and this is, I think this is the clear distinction, right? Is that there are parameters with music. So for example, the beat.
Yeah, you've kind of got to stay within to make a good product.
Otherwise it's noise.
But with art,
and
do whatever you want.
Do whatever you want.
Someone's going to like it.
You could, with visual art, anything that, especially the stuff that you do, like I'm just going to make what I like.
Yeah.
I'm going to use any materials.
Yeah.
And I'm going to use whatever colors that resonate with me.
Yeah.
With music that there is, we can create your own musical instruments, but there are certain guardrails to say that if you're doing it this way, it's noise.
Yeah.
But if you do it this way, then it's music.
Totally. Yeah. So like a creative thing, but in a different, more monitored. Like if you play a drum beat and it's off, like if you and I tried to get on the drums, you'd be like, that sounds terrible. But if you paint a picture and it's
equivalent of how I would play drums, it'll be fine.
It'd be fine.
It'll look
because
all right.
At least you're expressing yourself.
One thing so just the last person that sat in that seat, he is a musician and a music producer as well. And we go way back. He once upon a time was in a band called Deja Groove, and it was sort of like
Deja Groove?
Deja Groove.
That is so good.
Yeah, and
Deja
and you hear the music, it sounds exactly like how you imagine.
Oh my god, amazing!
And they played at Revs, and I did a collaboration with them where when they were playing, I was in the middle of where the crowd was.
Wait, bands play at Revs?
Yeah.
I've never been.
Oh, you've never been at Revs?
No, scares me.
Yeah.
The word Revs
I know.
sounds, everything anyone's ever explained to me about that place sounds like my literal hell, so I've never been.
Yeah, they do food.
They do not.
Yeah, it's great.
Maybe, no, I can't go.
It
It's
is exactly how everyone has described it.
Okay, but I didn't know they did food in bands. That's actually amazing.
I don't know if they still do that. I'm going back, it's 20 years.
Okay, all right.
So they performed, and in the middle of the crowd was me set up with an easel, and I was doing a live painting inspired by
That's
the music.
sick.
Yeah, that was pretty cool.
I've never heard of that happening before.
Yeah, and I actually completely forgot until like we got back in touch. I'm like, oh shit, man. Do you remember when we did that?
And you forgot about it.
I forgot about it.
Yeah. Where's the painting now?
They got it.
Do they still have it?
I think so.
Oh my god, amazing.
The last time I spoke with it was him, his twin brother, and a couple of others in the band.
Yeah.
And I spoke to them was a bunch of years ago, and they said, yeah, they still have it.
Wow, that's cool. Get it on the pod.
Oh, get the painting on the pod?
Yeah.
I see. Actually, this is actually like with the painting at that time. I used to paint a lot, but I stopped because I just had a really bad relationship with painting. It was in a time when
Interesting.
I was not in a good place.
Like you didn't like anything you were producing or just doing.
It was coming out of angst, right?
It didn't make you happy to do it.
I did it because I wasn't happy, right? So
Okay.
I was a really angry individual, and I used art as a way of expressing that.
I think that's really beautiful though.
Yeah, but it just kept me in that state.
Oh, I see. Yeah.
So I didn't have a healthy relationship with it. In saying that painting it in and of itself, when I was doing the thing with them, that was a completely different methodology, I suppose.
Right.
Where it was like good shit was coming out of it.
Yeah.
I just didn't continue because I just did not have a good relationship with creating art.
Yeah, right. I think you're your own worst enemy with art too.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like if you let that imposter syndrome take a hold, or like you just decide to kind of give into those insecurities, it can really make you not create for a long time.
It wasn't so much imposter syndrome. I enjoyed it, creating art, but much like how the feeling of being angry is also addictive.
Yeah, right.
I don't know if
that's really interesting.
If you would understand that, because you seem like a pretty jovial type person.
I do get really angry, of course, like any normal human. But it's never been amongst my art.
No, I
But
can
I
definitely
had-
say that.
I had a friend recently, he was over at my studio and we were flicking through my sketchbooks and he was like, these are really dark. And I've never seen you do anything like this. My journals, and then I actually didn't really know because I never show anybody either. And I've started posting them on my Patreon actually because he was like, this is so interesting because his stuff is so like bubbly and like jovial. But then you've got these sketches that are like sad clown girls crying and they're all like really sketchy.
Oh.
And so he encouraged me to like start to like, I was like, maybe I'll start actually showing people this.
Yeah.
But it's funny how like that stuff can stay hidden. But I think it's really good of you to be observant like that with your own, like to realize that you're making yourself more angry. Because I think anger can feel really good.
It does.
Yeah.
Feels
Especially,
really,
I don't
really
know, but I can imagine, especially as a guy with testosterone and like that kind of hormones. Like I know that I grew up with a teenage brother and
Yeah.
like angry,
Mhm.
like
Yeah.
angry. But I've also felt that, and it does feel good.
Yeah, it
I
does.
like to scream in my car.
That's healthy. I would say
I like
that's healthy.
screaming in my car,
Yeah.
and I like screaming into a pillow.
Yes. Yes.
Yeah, those are my anger outlets. I feel.
Yeah. Well, now I don't feel that way, which I'm pretty grateful
Yeah.
for. I think it's just
But I bet those paintings are actually really beautiful because of that.
the artwork aesthetically doesn't look too different from what I'm trying to create now, which is
Yeah.
a lot like this. But I guess it's just the subtleties and realizing that the way that it was, I guess I could probably sense what was behind it.
Yeah.
And I look at it, I'm like, oof, dude.
Yeah, I wonder if they'd be a little bit triggering for you now to look at.
Probably not. I mean, like,
No.
I can look at it objectively and try
Yeah.
to and I can take myself back to all that
I look back at some of the drawings I did. Like, I've got, I reckon my first sketchbook and journal would be from when I'm like 13. And every single sketchbook before the age of 13, I would tear everything up.
Yeah, right.
I had a lot of anger, a lot of jealousy towards my family, which is quite funny to admit. But my older siblings both went to NIDA. They both work in film. They're incredible artists. And my mum and my dad, both incredible artists. They're both creative. So I kind of saw myself as like a bit of a dud in the family. So I just hated everything I did up until I reckon I was 25. I hated it all. I still kept the journals, but I never showed anybody.
Was it just a matter of like, having that comparison and using them?
Yeah, I was comparing myself badly. Like, and I shouldn't have compared myself to them. My sister's 12 years older than me and is an incredible artist. But I also owe it to them how I can draw now.
Yeah.
Like I used to sit and like steal her sketchbooks and steal her drawings and go in my room and like trace over them because I just wanted to be able to draw like her so bad. And so like that's why I can draw girls now. And I wouldn't have been able to. But at the time I was like, I'm the worst. Yeah, it's funny.
Yeah.
But I can still look back at my sketchbooks from my journals from when I was 13 and it takes me straight back to how I felt then.
Yeah.
So I wish I kept everything.
Mm.
But I wonder if other kids do that, beat themselves up like that. I just thought it was normal, but now that I'm saying it out loud, I don't know if that's a normal thing.
My son did a lot of that.
Yeah.
He would get very, very frustrated if the work that he was creating was not to his liking.
Me too.
And
That's
he'll
what I would
rip
do.
it out, and I'm like, dude, we are not ripping out. And then he actually used to draw on loose pieces of paper.
Yeah, and you keep them?
Well, I encourage him to stop drawing on loose paper.
Yeah.
I want him to draw in a visual diary, so
Yeah.
so it's all together.
Yeah.
And whenever he didn't like something, then he'll start to tear it out. I'm like, we're not tearing anything out. You're going to keep it there, and you
Yeah.
need it there. Like
Yeah.
it's actually for you as a reminder of
You want to see your progression
You
too.
want to see the progression.
I look back and I'm like, that I was doing it yesterday. I had someone in the studio and I looked back and I was like, look how shit. It was because her son is 11 and he's the most incredible illustrator. So I grabbed out my journal from when I was like 14, 15 in high school and I was like, look, this was me when I was this age. Like, he's incredible. And then she was like, it's so good you've kept them. I'm like, I wish I kept everything
Yeah.
so bad.
Yeah, you need it. And not just that, it's almost like if you're going to erase history of in any kind of format, then there's no way of moving and learning from that point. Right?
Yeah, exactly.
It's sort of like when, even in schools, when they're just trying to change the textbooks and trying to change the narrative of some of our shortcomings in humanity. It's like, no, we have to know.
Yeah, I know.
Right?
I find that so bizarre. Like, you can't just erase parts.
No.
Well, I literally just said that's what I did to myself. So
you shouldn't.
But you shouldn't.
And there is regret that, at least like with you, that there is acknowledgement of that. And
yeah, and I'll never do it now.
no.
I still hate a lot. Drawing in a sketchbook is actually really hard for me. Well, I think for everybody. I think the idea of having just like a blank page in front of you is like so intimidating. So sometimes I've started junk journaling, which I'm obsessed with.
Okay.
Do you know about this?
No, go on.
So I've been doing it for my whole life, but now I found out there's a name for it in an entire community. It's basically scrapbooking.
Yeah, okay, now I know what you mean.
But
Collecting
there's
all your stuff and sticking in. Yeah.
But there's like these beautiful ways you can do it. And like if you go out for, like if say you go to like Disneyland for the day, you keep like the napkin from the restaurant and like your ticket and like your little wristband and your pass and like little bits and pieces from the day, and you can make like a whole page like on that memory. But what I found is any sketchbooks that I don't like I don't like a lot of the drawings in it or whatever, I've started junk journaling like around the pictures that I don't like, not covering them up, but just kind of like making the page better for myself. And then I start to like that drawing because I like the page overall.
Right.
So
okay.
like it's hard to explain, but I'll have entire journals where I'll see the cover of it. I have about 5 or 6 on the go at all times. I'll see the cover of it and I already know that cover of that book, I don't like what's in that book. This sounds insane that I'm now saying this out loud to somebody. I've never talked about this.
It's like, when someone punches a hole in the wall and then they get a frame and they frame.
Yeah. So I used to put like stickers or pieces of paper over drawings I didn't like or just rip them out. And now, because I regret doing that to my younger self, I try really hard to not cover them up.
Yeah.
I just try to make myself like it as a whole, even though I don't like my drawing.
That's a great mindset to have, because you're kind of like just giving a positive spin to something that you would otherwise just not really appreciate.
Or showing myself that I can like create in a different way that's just not drawing if I don't feel like drawing that day. Like if I draw something, I hate it, I can then do junk journaling, which is really easy and really lovely and a really like meditative process, and then I end up liking the page.
Giving it a different life.
And then I don't hate that journal anymore because I get to a point where I won't pick up that journal anymore. And then there's like half of it's empty. I won't touch it for years.
So you go in there intentionally to try something new.
Yeah.
Anticipating that you're going to fuck it up.
Yes. Yeah. I think fucking stuff up is really important.
Yeah.
And journals are a really good way to do that. But I can't show anyone. I only pick I now post them on my Patreon and I write like a description underneath like each entry, which people are really loving because it's more behind the scenes stuff, right? But before that's only very recent, and I'm 35. Like the amount of journals I could show. There's so many.
I think it's look, the fact that you've gotten to that point and have that realization at any age, I think that's really valuable. There's a lot of people that, and I still have to talk myself into this. I'm almost 42, where have a fear of even starting something because I'm looking at the level of where it could be, and
you're a planner.
Well, more like if I want to do something, I'm going to research it. Probably too far, to a fault, where I'm seeing the different degrees of what can be done.
And then you overwhelm yourself?
Yeah, kind of overwhelmed. And then what happens is that the bar is set really high.
Too high.
Yeah. And then when I'm starting off, I don't realize initially that where I'm starting from is going to be down here. And for the people up the top that have made it look so simple, they've put in the 10, 15, 20 years
exactly
to get to that point.
Yeah. I think people think that a lot with my stuff, and I remind them a lot that I'm almost a decade into being freelance. Like they're like, how have you done? Like I had recently a market where there was this guy and it was his first market store and his stuff was great. His stall setup was great, but he was right opposite me and he was like, oh my God, like how have you done this? And I was like, 10 years.
Yeah,
Like
10 years.
this is your first market stall. Like please don't compare yourself to me. Like
Yeah.
this is my every single day in and out. I am planning this. I'm thinking about this. I'm doing the merch. Like don't compare yourself.
Yeah. I mean, like if
But
anything.
it's really hard on the internet to not do that, right?
It's just about impossible because it's kind of geared towards that comparison. Even just the way that, I guess, the feeds work, it is a comparison because you're
I
trying.
don't scroll.
You don't?
No.
So you don't see things?
I go on Pinterest.
Oh yeah.
Pinterest is my researching. I love Pinterest.
Yeah.
But I find I hit a certain point maybe about 5 or 6 years ago with Instagram where I was like, everything is an ad.
Yeah.
And I found myself, I actually truly got an online shopping addiction. Like one that I had to go to therapy about.
Actually.
Yeah.
Oh,
One
wow.
day, oh my God, I remember I went away for 2 days and I was doing quite well in lockdown because everybody was buying my stuff because it was an online store. I was like the only one that financially was doing quite well because people were like buying my prints for their homes that they're in all of a sudden all the time. They want to make their spaces nicer.
Yeah.
So I was actually doing quite well, but then I got this online shopping addiction and it was from Instagram. Like truly. And I still find myself doing it. I'll be scrolling and it'll go ASOS and then it'll be like a pair of Dickies that I've already wish listed on ASOS. It'll come up in my feed. By the 10th time I see it, I'm like, I got to buy them. But then I found that I can still zone out and scroll on my phone. But if it's Pinterest, I'm inspired.
Yeah.
If it's TikTok, I feel old. And if it's Instagram, I just feel like capitalism is choking me.
Yeah, I hear you. And what I used to love about Instagram was being able to see the works or the happenings of people that you follow.
Yes.
Which I would say that maybe it's 1 in 20.
That's why I don't scroll anymore.
Yeah, it's horrid.
I used to be able to scroll. Now, unless I've commented on something of yours before or we've messaged a whole bunch, you're not going to come up. So if I'm scrolling, it's just ads for clothing and homewares. But if I scroll, I can't.
Yeah.
It just bums me out. And I will never post if I scroll because I compare myself or I just get annoyed. And the way that people do reels and everything is so they do it so well that I feel like I've fallen behind.
That's
you wouldn't
trapping.
think that about my Instagram. You're probably like, no, your reels are great. But to me, I'm like, it makes me feel old and like I'm not doing a good job anymore. Whereas 10 years ago, I was like really good at social media.
I think that's the thing with social media is that it's intentionally designed to keep you on your toes.
Yeah, and you can fall behind so easy.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
And if you decide to give up for a bit, like if I decided for a year I'm not going to post on my art page, that's my 30,000 followers gone. Like they won't notice me in a year.
But then if you think about with the 30,000 followers or however many you have, how many of those are actually going to be active as well? Because if everyone is like, I can't be fucked.
Yeah.
And then from that number, that's a number that has been accumulated over 10 plus years.
10
right?
years. And I reckon 200 people see my stuff.
Yeah,
Now,
maybe.
it used to be, my engagement used to be like if I did a post, 5K likes minimum. And that's because I was in everybody's feeds.
Yeah.
But now it is so competitive
Yeah.
and everybody can start an art page. Everybody can start an Etsy. And I encourage it, like show off your stuff. But there's only going to be so much room for you to be in feeds then.
Yeah.
So I reckon my engagement's like 200 people now will see it.
That kind of just begs the question of, and I think this is why the conversations I have with artists that it's generally nothing positive. There are definitely some that I know that are doing it really well. They've embraced it,
but you got to keep it up.
It's hard work. It's really hard work.
Even if I go on holiday, I have to schedule posts before I go.
Oh yeah,
which is like I don't always do it because that's annoying, right? But if you're not posting, you'll just get hidden and then people don't see. I've posted stuff recently that have gone 18 likes for like a logo that I've done that I know people would actually like if they could see it.
Then are you able to then separate yourself from that and then recognize that it is not a reflection?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that took years. Again, that's the decade thing, right? I can now just be like, that's the algorithm, because it's already been proven to me over the amount of years that people do like my art.
Yeah.
So it's easy for me to be like, I know that's not a reflection of me. But that takes a long time. If I was starting out and a post got 18 likes, I'd be like, before all this algorithm stuff happened, you'd be like, oh, it's actually just not very good and I'm not very good. And then you wouldn't want to keep going.
That's a trap. That's a big trap though.
Big trap. Yeah. It's not good. I think if I was starting out now where social media is, I wouldn't be as big. I came into it a really sweet spot.
Yeah, that's true.
And I remember when the internet happened. You know what I mean? You would too.
Yeah.
You're
42.
6 years older than.
Yeah, I lived in a
7
time
years.
before internet.
Were you 20
When what?
when the internet came in?
No.
Like, this is a real thing.
Yeah.
Because
I remember being online with dial-up when I was like in my teens.
Yeah, I reckon I mean, when I say the internet happened, it really kind of was overnight. But not everybody had a computer at their house.
Yeah.
Not everybody had a phone. So I remember distinctively when I got home when I was like 12 or 13, we had one of those Macs that was like a purple bubble.
Oh, yeah.
And I remember every single day after school, Mum would be like, you can go on the internet, but you're only allowed like half an hour each. Like me and my brother, my sister had moved out by this time. And I remember we would like sit and listen to the dial-up tone and like start to get so excited.
Yeah.
Because I loved the Neopets website and the Paul Frank website. Those were like the two
cool.
things that introduced me to the internet. Do you remember Neopets?
No.
It was like Pokemon basically.
Right.
You could like name I had this little like animation of like a little squirrel looking thing.
Yeah.
And that was your character. You could name it and it came with like a birth certificate and then you just play online like this game.
Okay. No, I'm not familiar.
But I remember this was like, that's when the internet happened.
Yeah.
And prior to that, we just didn't have it.
It's hard to compare. Like I was trying to explain to my son that there was a time when people didn't have phones and didn't have like.
It's so funny though, right? Because I remember when I was younger, like our parents and like older people being like, we didn't even have TV when we were little.
They
And
sat
we were
around
like,
a radio.
wow, but the internet is TV and radio are so much smaller on a scale than the internet.
Yeah.
So to explain to your son, like, we didn't have the internet, that would be really hard as a younger brain to even comprehend.
To grasp, yeah.
Because how do you get places? How do you Google?
I don't even know. I cannot imagine sitting in the car with the Melways and just trying to get around with that. It's like we used to do that. So how did that even happen?
My dad used to sit us in the back and throw the directory at us and just be like, find this
navigate.
place, and we'd go, because he used to be a paramedic.
Oh.
So he was like almost training us. But now it's like there's no point for it.
No. There was a time when you made plans with someone and you had to be there at that time. There was no negotiating about. Yeah.
Nightmare for ADHD.
Just having
And not being able to call.
No.
Like if somebody didn't rock up, the anxiety you would get. Like I remember if my mum was late for picking me up from school, I was like, she's dead. My whole family's dead. I'm going to die.
What am I going to do? Can't do anything about it.
I'm going to be Bart Simpson as the skeleton next to the oval in that Simpsons episode where Homer doesn't come pick him up.
Yeah.
Like that's what you think is going to happen.
Pick a bar. What the hell's pick a bar?
Pick a bar. Exactly that. Yeah, it's weird to think about.
Then there is that next generation where I've got Lennox is 9 and Aubrey's 20 months.
I wonder what will be new for them in
AI.
the future. Oh, AI, no.
They're going to be living with a whole thing that is more intelligent than them. That's something that's unprecedented.
I hope by the time they're older, AI only does stuff like the house cleaning, the taxes, the admin, and like all of the things that you don't want to do, and none of the creative stuff.
It won't okay, so this is what I think from a creative lens. I think this is why people like yourself, the makers, there's going to be a surge in that, right? Because that is something that AI just cannot replace.
Creating original stuff.
Not just creating original stuff, but stuff that's got tactility, that has that provenance embedded in it, right? So
Yeah.
like if you having something that if I asked you to go make me a piece of your art, and let's just say you went out to Bunnings, you grabbed all the materials, you banged it together, and then you painted over it, and I know that is made by Ginger Taylor. I could also just tell ChatGPT, create me something, and it'll be able to come up with a CAD drawing, and it will just spit it out on a 3D printer.
Yeah.
Like it'd be cool,
But it would
I'm
be
like,
the same.
yeah.
I actually think AI is going to be, this is maybe controversial, but I think it's going to be really good for artists eventually.
It will be.
Because of what you just said. Like, for instance, like I run a Patreon where I send out a monthly mail, it's basically like I'm a professional pen pal.
Mhm.
So like, but the whole beauty of that is that I wanted to like, my whole slogan for my Patreon is like, put an end to bad mail days, because you know how you just get like bills and junk mail. Like nobody actually gets like a letter anymore. So I have this like mail club, and it's the whole thing is like bring back tactical, lovely moments. Like the idea of going, I'm not even signed up to any Patreons that send me anything. I should maybe do that. But I love the idea of sending out all my letters, and they come with like a collectible magnet sticker and a postcard, and then like a little handwritten, which I photocopy and then print out. It's not all of them are handwritten because there's 200 Patreon members.
Oh, that's decent.
But yeah, it's good. It ebbs and flows, but at the moment it's good. But yeah, it's like the idea of just getting like a handwritten letter with some goodies in it to make your own day.
Yeah.
Or like, you know, sign your niece up, and then for 12 months they get like a letter from an artist every single month.
Yeah.
And it's like this tactical thing is so much more important now that there's AI.
Yeah. And
It's going to flip, and people are going to realize how important it is
For sure.
to go back to our roots and be more organic with stuff.
yeah, that's
And
100%
not
the way it's
digital.
going to be. I think there will be a big resurgence in that. And I think that there's a middle ground that's going to get cut out. Like I was having a chat on the weekend about how, so records, as in vinyls, have overtaken CDs now.
Yeah.
But the thing is that with CDs, it's perfect music, right? Like it's optimized, like the actual quality of the music.
The sound is better than
the sound
vinyl.
quality is better than vinyl and better than Spotify.
Right.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't actually know that.
Spotify's, as in like streamed music, is compressed. That's
I haven't listened to a CD in so long.
no one has.
I mean, I do. I think I'm the only one. I'm not the only one, but I feel like I'm the only one out of all my friends that has a 6 CD
The stacker
in my car,
Jesus.
which I haven't listened to in about a year, and I don't know why, because it's all my CDs from when I was a teenager.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Like I still have the CD wallet, and sometimes I just like
Perfect.
switch them out.
But yeah, so the CDs, the quality of the music is as good as it's going to get consumer level.
Wow, I didn't know that. I'm going to listen to my CDs on the way home.
There you go.
Yeah.
But for some reason, there is the vinyl. Not for some reason. It's pretty obvious why it is.
Because it's cool.
It's cool, right?
is
There
cool.
is things intrinsic. That's beyond the actual function of a vinyl that
Yeah.
we love to do, right?
Yeah.
Like there's the ritual of taking it out, putting it in, and
Even
then
going to the record
going
shop.
to the record shop,
Going
like
to the record shop is my favorite.
flicking through,
Yeah.
and making your purchase, and then you put it on, and then you're taking the cover and you're displaying it,
And it's a moment of listening to it.
Yep.
It's not like, you know,
Yep.
I love pop stars, and Sabrina Carpenter's album came out last week. And I was so excited, and I was like, Spotify, play. And I listened to it. But if I had a vinyl and it's tactile and I went home, actually, I might go buy that after this.
There you go.
And I like sit it up, and you do the thing, and you like flick through it while you're listening to it, like have a little treat, like a little cupcake or a little glass of wine, like while you're doing it.
Yeah.
Like those things, that's self-care. Whereas listening to it on Spotify is just like, oh, I've heard it.
skip, skip, skip.
Yeah.
And that is very much algorithm driven as well.
Yeah.
Whereas like with a vinyl and with a CD, you can skip through the tracks.
Yeah.
Vinyl's like, you can just listen from start to finish.
Yeah.
I mean, you can try.
I liked when they used to have all of the lyrics. I don't know if vinyl still even has this, but on the
And the
slip,
cover?
in
Yeah.
the insert, it's like all the
Yeah,
lyrics.
it's the best.
Like I used to sit there, I remember I got a note out CD and I used to sit there with my Walkman in the car, like while my parents were taking us on like a Sunday drive. And I would sit there and like press back and like play the song over and over again until I knew every lyric to every song.
Yeah, that was the good times.
Yeah.
But yeah, so that's happened. So there is a middle ground that we omit. So there's something about like using that as an example with music. We're happy to pay for convenience and sacrificing some quality. I think for the most part, people don't care about the quality of Spotify. I personally don't.
Especially if you want to listen to lots of stuff. You're not going to go buy
No.
heaps of vinyls. You're going to buy your favorite vinyls.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Podcasts
we're
and
happy to
audiobooks.
have something that is convenient and sacrifice a bit of quality for that.
Yeah.
But then on the other side is that what we're not going to be willing to sacrifice is the ritual of the enjoyment in the process of it. So with art, there's going to be a lot in the middle ground that's going to get cut out.
Yeah.
Whereas it's going to be on the tail ends of how, like the stuff that you do, I don't think will ever go. It's going to be the equivalent of what vinyls is going to be like. And on the other end, it's going to be just the very rudimentary stuff that like Midjourney is punching out, where you can just type in some prompts and it'll come up with an image, and then that'll be used for, maybe like advertising and marketing, right?
Yeah.
Something that is,
They don't need original artwork for.
it's just
Like
not
if it's like a real estate ad or something,
Something
you know
like
what I
that.
mean? Like they're not
Exactly.
going to need a quirky little like
Exactly.
character that's a pie,
Yeah.
like running around.
So it's going to push
you know?
things further away, but then there's going to be somewhere in the middle ground where people have to try to, if you live in that middle ground, you're going to have to try to figure out which way that you're going to go.
Yeah.
So I think that's where it's going to be. And I think what's going to happen is that it's going to get pushed towards, everyone's going to get pushed towards the more tactile, tangible type things.
Yeah.
To tie this in with something that you were saying previously about like appreciating mistakes and errors. And I think that is one thing about handmade art is that there's an appreciation for things that aren't, to embrace imperfections in things, right?
Yeah.
And that's important because a lot of AI is geared towards coming up with an optimal solution to something.
Yeah. Not having imperfections.
Not having imperfections.
Yeah.
And I did this drawing. It was a stippling piece, and it took me. I spent maybe about 20 hours doing a small piece, right? No bigger than that, but
Whoa.
I'll show you afterwards.
Yes, please.
And my son, when he was 3, he scribbled over it,
Oh my God.
and I fucking.
It'll be a funny story later to tell at Christmas Day to him, I guess.
Like, the story is great, right? Because I cracked it, right? But the thing is that, like, okay, so it was sitting in my visual diary. I had no intentions of doing anything with it. So
Yeah.
it was only ever going to live there.
Yeah.
And I was so angry. But then he explained why he did it, and I was absolutely heartbroken. It was the image was of a food dog. You know, one of those food dogs.
Yep. I do know. Yep.
So he saw it as a monster, and he wanted to scrub out the monster.
Oh, darling.
I took a photo. I took a photo of the art piece with his scribble. I put it up on Reddit on Mildly Infuriating. I don't know if you...
Amazing. No, I want to get into Reddit. Well, we can talk about that another time.
Yeah, you might not want to. It's toxic as fuck.
I found a podcast that just reads out stories and
Oh, yeah.
it does it for you, but not the bad.
Oh,
Anyway,
okay.
It's great.
So it actually kind of gained a fair bit of traction on Reddit,
Amazing.
and heaps of people commented, heaps of people reached out. People wanted to buy it, right?
Oh my God, that's full circle.
Yeah.
How good.
So
Did you sell it?
I sold it.
Yes.
I sold it not for like the main reason was to close off this story,
yeah.
right? Because like I was saying, it would otherwise have just lived in my visual diary.
Yeah.
So I sold it to a sound producer over in LA.
What?
Yeah, and
I love this.
so we sent it
I want
over.
to know how much you sold it for, but I won't ask you on the podcast.
No, I think it was, what was it? It was maybe like 600, 800 US.
Incredible. Oh my God, that's so good.
Yeah, because like he was like
That's a trampoline for your little boy.
it was so yeah. So he got the money for it.
Yeah.
Because he was the one that actually added that value to it. Because otherwise it was worth nothing.
Oh my God, how cute.
And-
Did you actually give him the money or did you just be like, we'll put this in a bank side?
Oh, was that? Like put it
I
in
love
it
the
was
idea of you
in the
actually just
account.
handing a kid a bunch
Kid
of
the
cash,
cash.
though.
And it was hard to explain to a 3-year-old that what he did was wrong, but he profited from it.
Oh,
So
that's
it
a
was-
good
it
point.
was
He
hard to
probably
kinda-
thinks like
Now I'm just going to do this all the time.
he should do it again.
But yeah, what was cool was that that guy he framed it up. He loved the story. He framed it up and he sent me photos of where it lived. And like that is awesome. And,
Yeah, that's awesome.
and that's the kind of thing that I don't think AI is going to be able
no,
to.
not stories like that.
No, not quite, not to that level. And then also,
and I think
when you're
people will
talking about-
realize that pretty quick.
yeah. And then to tie it back to what you were saying about like having just embracing the imperfections and try to beautify
Yeah.
something else, where I had something that what I thought was beautiful, but it didn't actually live to its full potential until
Yeah.
it was
Something
destroyed.
else.
Until-
And destroyed. Yeah, totally.
And then that's what gave it the life that it has now. And right now it's like up in someone's
Yeah.
house in LA.
that's very cool.
Yeah, it's a cool story.
Yeah,
but-
that's really awesome. I love that.
I haven't even asked you about whether or not you jumped on that gluten-free diet yet to manage.
Oh, so yes, I did do it. But you know how you're meant to do it for 6 weeks?
I don't know any of this, but go on.
I think that like if you do any sort of like cut out gluten or cut
Uh-huh.
out like something, it's got to be for 6 weeks and it's got to be like really strict.
Yeah.
So I think I did it for like 3 weeks.
Oh, okay.
And the thing that I was trying to work out was like I have rosacea.
Yeah.
It's obviously not flared up right now, but I get like really red here, and like I was trying to work out if it's like an allergy thing to food,
Mhm.
and I thought that it might be gluten, but I got to 3 weeks in, and it was still happening, like my skin flaring up.
Yeah.
So then I was like, well, it's not that, and I really miss bread.
Yeah.
So I'd like to give it another go and stick it out, especially now that I've cut my gluten in half.
Mm.
I'd like to give it a go for 6 weeks and kind of like assess myself the whole time, focusing on my brain, whereas I was focusing on like my allergies
Yeah.
and my skin because I'm trying to work that out. Whereas now I'm like, maybe I should just give it a go and see how my brain goes with it.
That'll be like, there's so much connection between gut health and
Yeah.
mind health. So I think it could just be addressing both simultaneously.
Yeah, I definitely have gut problems. It's so annoying and it is all connected to the brain, and especially with ADHD because it's like you think so irrationally and there's so many different little things that routine and diet is unfortunately so annoying. And I say unfortunately because I remember when I was younger, people being like, routine and diet is like the best thing you can do for yourself. And I'm like, I don't want to do those. I don't want to do them. And now I'm like, getting up at the same time every day does make me less depressed.
Yeah.
And like getting to the studio at a certain time and eating lunch and like doing
It's pretty crazy how your body, your mind and your body adapts so quickly when like with routine, it's not just like the regiment of the time, but it's the signals that come with it.
Yeah.
So, you know, when you're stepping into the studio at the same time, it's
Yeah.
like you really have this preparedness
yeah.
of like, this is what we're here to do now.
Yeah. Even like I've never had a morning routine because I always thought like, you know, you go on the internet and you Google like morning routine. If you have ADHD, you've probably done that. I've gone on and been like, what do people do to feel good? And it'll be like, make your bed, do some yoga. And it tells you like essentially the same things, like have some porridge and like do all these things. But I've created a routine and it seems so simple now that I'm saying it out loud and like obvious. But it did take me until 35 to realize you can create your own routine. It doesn't have to be all that crap that they're telling you to do that you don't want to do. Like I wake up every day, I open the back door, I go out in the backyard and I eat a little protein ball or have a cup of coffee. And I stand at my backyard, like right at the back. So I'm facing my house and I just like ground myself in the grass for like a couple of minutes. I allow myself to like play with the dogs instead of being like, fuck, what time is it? I've got to get to work. Or I should be like going to a gym, I guess. Like I don't want to do any of that stuff. So I've created my own routine.
Yeah, it works for you.
Yeah. And it's not very deep, but you know, having a protein ball and putting your feet on the grass, like every single day, that can be the thing to make you feel better mentally.
Yeah. We do. I think we thrive. I don't want to sound like too prescriptive with like you got to do things all the time the same way.
Because that's hard.
It is hard, but I think that we thrive when we do have some kind of stability, right? Because then there's just a lot of shit that you just don't have to think about when you're just in process of taking care of
because you end
that.
up going on autopilot with it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you can put the attention on the shit that's actually more important.
Yeah. And I think as well, that's why like the older I get, the less I want to like drink or stay out late or even like go to bed past 10:30.
Yeah.
Because you realize how important those little things are and how crap they're going to make you feel. Whereas in your 20s, who cares?
Who cares?
Who cares?
Yeah,
It's a real YOLO mentality, and now it's a real like, no, think about future you.
I spent my 20s telling myself, like, I didn't think there was a lot of ego, so much so that I didn't take agency with my career trajectory or anything in life. I kind of just went with it, and I was like,
Everyone does.
Really? Yeah.
Okay, everyone that I know does.
Yeah, there are a lot of like more, when I say successful people that have reached my age that have ticked a lot of boxes that they were set out to do.
Right.
But I didn't have boxes. I didn't even establish any boxes. There was nothing for me. I'll be like, I'll be fine. By the time I get to 40, mate, I would have made it.
I still do this.
Yeah,
I'm
but
35 and I literally said this to my therapist yesterday. I was like, she's like, wait, where do you see yourself in 10 years? And I was like,
ooh.
Oh my God, I don't know.
Yeah.
I was like, I don't know what I'm doing tomorrow. I don't know. And in my 20s, I was the same but more reckless.
I was like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'll be fine.
I had no plan.
Yeah, now like 20 years later, I'm like, man, that was a lot has happened in 20 years for sure. But I'm like, I just kind of wish that I had taken stock and given myself something to work towards. Even if I didn't necessarily achieve it, just have a North Star to move in a forward direction into the general area.
Into the life that you would want to have.
Yeah, but I didn't even think about what life I wanted to have.
No, same.
It was more like, it would be sweet.
Is this something that like, say you were 52 and you were sitting here, do you think that you would still be saying that at 52, like looking back and being like at 42, I wish I had a better clear guideline of like what I wanted my life to be at 52?
I would say that if I hadn't taken agency at 42, which is essentially what everything is now, it's me like just saying like, if I want to achieve something and there are certain things that I want to be able to do, then I just have to go and do it. It's not enough just to think about it.
Yeah. But in your 20s, you actually do think it is enough to just think about it.
Or just to
like
kind of
not taking action.
Not taking action. Like, my career moved.
I still do this. I'm a big dreamer with no action.
I disagree. I think you do a lot of stuff.
Oh, that's actually very nice of you. And I maybe I'm a bit too hard on myself with that. I think it's just more like thinking of a 5-year to 10-year plan. I feel very incapable of doing that.
Maybe that's not the problem though, because I think what the problem is action, right? So I try to distinguish between, when you say creativity, for example, there is conceptualizing and then there's executing.
Yeah.
And I don't think that there's any value in conceptualizing without action, but there's a lot of value in action without conceptualizing. And what I mean...
Oh, that's actually a good point.
Yeah. Because...
Yeah, that is essentially what I do, actually.
Which is fine, right? Because there is... Something's happening when you're creating.
I don't think about a lot of stuff. I'll just
do it.
Do it.
And that's fine because then you're moving the needle.
It's Nike's whole thing.
That's it.
Just do it.
Yeah. Because if you just sit there and think about stuff, you're not actually, nothing's changing.
Yeah.
Right? But if you're actively creating things, even if there's no substance behind it, there is something in that discovery and that curiosity. And I like to what you were saying earlier about how, you don't like to be told how to do things. There is something about that childlike approach of creating, which is just...
I'll work it out.
Yeah, well, which is as long as you are working out, which you are, because
Yeah.
you're still active in doing things, right? And one of the challenges that we have as we're growing up is that we just have all these labels and things and these guardrails saying that you can't do this because you got to pay the fucking bills, or you got to.
Yeah.
And then like when you say pay the bills, then what does that even mean? Then at that point, it also means like, oh, what are my options? I've got to go to a full-time job. I've got to go
Yeah.
all these things come up. But if you are able to rid yourself of the labels and just go and do whatever the fuck you want
Yeah.
and set your own parameters, a lot of the time, not always, but a lot of the time, it manages to figure itself out.
Yeah.
Because if you're invested in like how you operate and you
Yeah.
say that I'm just going to make shit, and you can just continue to make stuff, and if there are things that pop up, it's like, oh, like what you're saying about social media, it's not giving me this sort of traction, then you're able to pivot. It's like, okay, then maybe Instagram's not the thing. Maybe it's
Yeah.
Patreon, right?
Yeah.
So then I can look at that and what are the things that my supporters want from that.
Yeah.
But you just have to be making. You can't just sit there and think Instagram's not working out. Woe is me.
Yeah, exactly. You can't just like give it up. But I think the thing you say on action is so important. And I actually, I love how this has turned into a therapy session, because now I'm like, after this, there's like things that I've been wanting to do, and just you as a like body doubling being here, being like, just do the action. I'm like, oh yeah.
Yeah.
But you do get stuck in your head of like, quite often I find it hard to think about doing big projects.
Mhm.
Whereas like say for instance, I have this children's book idea that I really want to do.
Great.
I've had it for years. And I've always got it in my head that I need to like go away to an Airbnb and just like buckle down and like spend 2 months like off the grid and like get it done. And really the answer is just chip away at it. But I'm really bad at chipping away. I really love I'm chasing the dopamine of like, I'm going to start this Wheel of Fortune today and I'm going to finish it and it's going to be amazing. But anything that takes like a week or more, I find really hard to
Book
stick
might take
to.
you a bit longer than that.
Oh no, yes, definitely. But like even something that's like more than 24 and takes more than 24 hours, I find it really hard to chip away and work away at a big project. I like to be able to make something in that rush of hyperfixation.
When you do something then, are you doing it with the aim of the end goal?
No.
No? So you're doing something just for the sake of doing something.
I'm doing something because sometimes I have it in my head of what I want it to look like.
Yeah.
Most of the time I don't. I just want the feeling of painting or the feeling of pencil to paper.
Mhm.
Yeah, it's more about like how it makes me feel. And then in the end, I'm like, hey, that actually looks kind of cool. I'll show people.
Yeah.
Whereas I don't think I actually want to go back. I was going back and looking at some of your Instagram reels last night of like past artists, and now I'm like a little bit hyperfixated on it because I was so interested to hear that that's not what other artists do. Like there was a few videos that came up and I was like, oh my God, that's so the opposite of what I do. And I love that there's artists that don't do how I do it.
It's complete opposite ends and everything in between.
And I don't want to, I won't end up comparing myself and be like, I need to be more structured. I'm going to have an exhibition with like a plan, or like when I do this canvas, I'm going to make this painting look like this. I don't think I'll change anything about myself, but it's really relieving to know that everybody has completely different processes.
Yep, very much so.
And that you can change if you want to.
Yeah, and sometimes like you kind of have to be malleable, but I think that what I found is that I get really I'm despondent when I finish something.
What does despondent mean?
Like I feel not entirely happy.
Right.
Yeah.
Is it because you have a picture in your mind of what you wanted it to be and then it didn't end up?
No,
okay.
It's because the process is finished.
Oh, and then it's like, what's next?
What's next?
So you feel a bit sad.
Yeah. Because I've found that like I come up with an idea and there is that dopamine of then that rush of like, this is awesome, let's get into it.
Yeah.
And then there's that doing it. But as I'm doing it, I'm trying to get it done. But then once it's done, I feel, And what I've realized, it is the actual doing of it that I'm attached to.
Yeah, I think like highlight that part to everybody listening. The process is the bit that you like.
Yeah.
It's not about the end result. Like there were so many times in my exhibition 3 years ago, it was my first ever big solo show, and I, the entire time, was just like, enjoy the process, enjoy the process. Like this gets to be your life.
Mhm.
Like
Yeah.
how privileged are you to be able to be in your studio painting? Everyone else is at like their full-time jobs and like, yes, this is the world that I've created for myself, but like enjoy it. And the process is like, that really is the best part of anything. And people just think about like, I just really want to finish it. I just want to finish it to show people. And it's like, but then you're missing out on the good part,
Yeah.
I think.
Absolutely. And I think that's where it's at. So when I think of now having goals,
Yeah.
the goals is just, I describe it as like having a carrot dangled in front of me.
Yeah.
Right? So it's just to ensure that there is action happening.
Yeah.
And you're not going to necessarily achieve the goal that you want, but what the carrot is there to do is just to keep you moving
Yeah.
and to take you to where you're eventually going to go.
Yeah.
right?
My problem is I put the carrot like
all the way over there. So
6 ovals that way. And then I'm like, oh, it's too
it's too
far.
far. How about
I'll
like,
just eat this cookie that's next to me.
have you tried like, if you were to if you have a goal, so say for example, a children's book, and then you break down all the different things, the components that you need to do to get a children's book done. And then you say that, okay, if I need to get X, Y, and Z done, let's focus on X. Now with X, what needs to be done? And then you can break that into steps. So you have, and then when you break that down into steps, you know exactly what needs to be done this week.
Yeah.
And then from this week, you can say, maybe I'll get this done today. This one little part is what I'm going to get done today. And
Yeah.
then you take this piece, you add it into that pool, and then next week we'll add it in. And then eventually you have all these little pieces, and now you have this whole book. So it's essentially like you have a goal that you can break down into milestones.
Yeah.
And then from the milestones, you can break them down into tasks.
Yeah.
And then the tasks will direct you into what you are going to do right now.
Yes. So
Little steps.
I'm really bad at that,
Yeah.
but I am trying really hard to learn. My friend Grace was actually telling me the other day of this system that her husband, who has ADHD, uses, where it's, oh God, it's going to be so silly that I can't remember this. Now, next, later.
Mhm.
I did remember. I was forgetting next.
Now, next, later.
I was just going now, later. Now, next, later.
Yeah.
Same thing.
Yeah.
And I'm really, really, really going to try to be better at it because I chase the dopamine fix too quick. And I really need to learn how to chip away at things and like break them down into tasks better because I want to be able to feel that feeling of like a very big project coming together, which I have done with exhibitions and stuff like that. It's easier with client work. Like I designed a skateboard for Impala Skates.
Mhm.
Do you know Impala?
I think so, yeah.
I designed a skateboard for them. And like, of course, like any client work, like that's breaking it down. It's tasks. And that does feel really good. But when it's for myself, I find discipline really hard.
Yeah. But well, how about
And
you,
distraction.
the framing of it, like you have from now through till the last breath you take, that will be the end goal.
Yeah.
And there's all these things that are going to happen in between that. So there's always going to be a sequence.
There's always going to be something. It's like what we were saying
Yeah.
before with like, you've got to clear the space.
Yeah, there's always going to be something, right?
2 months from now, I could easily just be like, I'm going to take off 2 weeks. Like I could clear the space for myself. I think just the idea of a big project is quite
project.
scary to people.
But then like this big project is just going to be a little project in the whole grand scheme of Ginger Taylor.
I know. But then I also do that thing where I get distracted and excited about other stuff. Like I could have done it this week.
Yeah.
You know, I have one client job on. I could have gotten that done earlier in the week, done my children's book, and then been like, wow. Well, not finished it, but started it. But instead I was like, oh, but I'm just going to make some more merch. Oh, maybe I'll order some stickers. And then I'm like, oh, and when the stickers arrive, I've got to put them on the website. So I let myself get distracted by stuff. But you also, as a freelancer, have to get distracted by stuff that brings the money in.
Yeah.
So that's quite hard. That's why I think people find it really hard to start a passion project or like have a solo exhibition write a children's book, like do something big because they're trying to do the things to bring the money in.
Yeah.
That's like anybody with a job that's not a freelance artist. They're like, I'd love to do my art, but I also have a full-time job.
Yeah.
So that's when it's really hard and you have to make a decision whether you want to create the space for it or not.
Yeah, it's opportunity cost, and I try
Yeah.
to look at things like that as well. So
Yeah.
it's
I think it was easy for me as well to create the space because I was 20. How old am I? I was 27
Mhm.
when I went freelance. And that was a really good time to do it because, like, I was living in Sydney. I was broke anyway.
and you don't have all those guardrails. It's like
No, I don't have children. I mean, I still don't have children, but I didn't have expenses other than rent.
mhm.
So I just made it work. And I think as well, like coming from a family of freelancers, this is why I've been freelance for so long, is because like a couple of weeks ago, I got a really big tax bill. Terrible. And the worst timing because we're going to Tasmania the next week. And I told my partner that I was like, I have not any money because instead of setting up a payment plan, I immediately saw the email from the ATO and was like, oh my God, I'm going to go to jail if I don't pay this right now. So I put, it was 10 grand and I was like, here's all my savings, take it without thinking. And then was like, oh my God, I have no money. We're going to Tasmania next week. But I think because I've been freelance for 10 years and it's like now a skill, I just buckled down, tried to think of ways to make money. Like I listed my commission family portraits online and was like, I'm doing a bunch of commissions, like 10 spots open, like sold a bunch of stuff on Depop, like did all of these things and then made money really fast. And my partner was like, how did you do that? Like you told me last week you had no money. I was really starting to freak out. Like he was panicking and I was like, it'll just be okay.
Well, that's because you take action as well.
Because you take action.
take
And I
action.
think when things get really dire financially really quick, I have it in me to just be like, how are we going to make money? Let's do it. Let's
be
go.
resourceful.
Be resourceful. And if you're not resourceful and you're freelance, it's not going to work.
It just cannot. It just cannot.
But it definitely comes with its cons. Like I would love sick pay and holiday pay and any sort of benefit.
Yeah.
But then I get to, you know, if I've got period pain or I've got a headache, I can go home.
Yeah.
You know? Like it's definitely like
It's choose your hard.
choose your hard. Exactly. Yeah. I choose the hard where I can take the day off if I want.
The fact that you've been doing it for 10 years is a massive testament because you've shown that you can stick it out and you can take all the shit that comes with it. I've spent, I think, my whole professional career 3 years on, 3 years off, flip-flopping between full-time work and freelance full-time work. And this is the longest stint of not full-time work.
Yeah.
I've drawn a line in the sand saying that you're not coming back to full-time work. You're not going to. That's.
You're not going to.
I'm not going to.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so it's
You've kind of worked out what hard you prefer.
Yeah, I mean, I guess I've always
you also
known.
have this lovely space where you can like be with your wife and fit your kids in.
Well, so it's also the choice that she's made as well. So it is like this is the hard that we've chosen, and because there's a whole bunch of factors, like all the things that you've said, is
I
just
think
having.
it's a more exciting, fun, hard to have.
Yeah, it is. But I can definitely see why someone would just rather not. They'd rather just go into a job, switch off.
Yeah. Sometimes
paid.
I work in film and I love it because I work in the art finishing department, which is like breaking down costumes. Sometimes, like when a job comes up and they get too busy, I'm who they call. And I have said to my boss there before and just been like, I love coming in here because I just rock up, you tell me what to do, and then I just do it and then I go home.
Yeah.
Like I really crave that, but not all the time.
No, and it's a good break from the
Yeah, it is like a break.
intensely. Like I've got a client of mine where they need what do they do? They pitch to councils to manage the council-owned golf courses,
To manage them,
manage golf clubs and golf courses.
do they not already have somebody that does that?
Them.
Right, okay. But
So-
they come in and they're like,
We'll do it.
we'll do it.
Yeah.
But who was doing it before?
I don't know.
Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, it's above my pay grade.
Yeah.
But anyway, so they need presentations put together. And it's such a luxury to be able to have a client where I'm like, I don't have to be creative. I don't have to think.
Yeah.
Awesome to communicate with.
Yeah.
They pay quick. They supply everything. I just need to jump on the computer, start arranging things, click some buttons.
I love that.
It's brilliant.
If you're ever too busy, you pass that my way.
It's brilliant. It's really it's great because it is such a stark contrast from everything else that I do.
Yeah, that's funny because I feel like if anybody came to me with that concept of a job, I'd be like, oh, I don't want to do that. It's not really my thing. It's not creative enough. But now that you've said that, if somebody came to me with that job, I would love that.
Yeah.
Love that.
And
That's kind of autopilot.
It is. It very much is. Like, but
And
it's
especially when they're telling you exactly what they want.
Yep.
Like, it's actually really hard when a client is like, oh my God, I love your work. Make me a logo. You're like, I need something.
give me something.
I need something to go
So they're
off.
very clear. They give me the brand guidelines. They supply everything. I'm just dropping everything in, typesetting, and that's pretty much it. And
Yeah.
it's very, very simple. But I guess my point is that it's good to have something like that comes up occasionally to contrast from everything else, so I don't have to expend the creative energy into that.
Yeah.
And that is where the money is coming from to help supplement the rest of that.
Yeah.
Where it gives me the opportunity. It doesn't. It's not anything that I could just live off entirely, but it helps, right?
I think this is a big part of freelance.
Yeah, it is.
Too,
It is.
where like just the fact of like spreading yourself thin. Like they tell you not to not spread yourself thin. What's the other one? It sounds weird, but have your fingers in all the pies. It seems like a really bad.
Like you go
Sentence.
speak with any creative that's pumping out some great work on Instagram, and I can guarantee you that they are making money as well, just doing some
Yeah.
very monotonous type
Yeah.
work. And like I'm happy to admit it. We all do it.
Yeah.
Like there's
And you kind of have to. Like even when people are like, I'm going to do my art, like when people ask me questions about starting out, I'm like, get a website. Get an Etsy, then get it, like list everything, do that platform, then get a website if Etsy isn't going like popping off for you, or like you want to be more professional, whatever. Then sell your stuff at markets. Like you've got to go and do lots of things, and especially as an artist, like Patreon, a shop, a market, like
it's been
client
resourceful.
work as well, being resourceful, like doing lots of different little things is how you stay freelance, I think.
Yeah, well, it depends on like how much do you want it, right?
Yeah.
Like
If I just did paintings, no money. I wouldn't be able to.
I mean, it would be pretty sweet.
It would be amazing. That is when my therapist asked me, "Where do you see yourself in 10 years?" I was like, in my own studio garage out the back of like a nature plot where I live in like a little log cabin with like 10 chihuahuas just painting
Yeah.
for fun. Just painting whatever.
So
And then I was like, it's essentially my life now, but with more chihuahuas and more money.
So that's your North Star, and then you're just doing whatever it needs that you need to do to get there. And same thing for me will just be like if I can record a podcast, just sit and have a podcast, and then when I'm not podcasting, just catching up for people for coffees like as we did, and if not doing that, then painting and what else would you?
This is a good life.
Yeah, so
That's
if you can make
creating
that
a good
happen.
life for yourself.
That's the goal. So
This
now
is also
it's
such an easy podcast. I kind of forgot it was a podcast until you said that. Like, honestly, I was like so deep in that chat that I was like, oh, yeah, shit, the camera's
it's the
here.
stuff happening. But I've got to ask actually because, and I should have probably thought about this a bit earlier. What is your take? Now, give me your critique on A Nightmare Before Christmas, the creative and the art for that. Because I need to get an insider's view.
Yeah.
Because it is so iconic, and I know that you are personally attached to it.
Yeah.
That I want to get a take from someone that was somehow somewhat behind the scenes and understands the thinking and the process behind that.
Yeah. Oh my gosh, this is so nice. I feel like this is such serendipitous timing as well because like the personal connection to to it is that my dad was the art director, and we lived in San Francisco when I was a baby until I was about 3 while he was working on it. But what's really funny is October next month? Yeah. Next month is my Halloween Patreon mail out, and I'm actually getting my dad to do little drawings of Jack Skellington and autographed, and I'm going to put them in every envelope.
Whoa.
I haven't actually said that, so maybe this will come out like before then and whatever. But that's really cute. But what's really sweet about it is my dad has Parkinson's now. So I was like, this will be so nice for him because, you know, he can't really draw anymore. He's a bit bummed about it. And I thought it would be this really cute idea to get him to like do this, and it'll be really good for him to like feel creative again, but he's really struggling to do it. And he was like, how many do you need? I've done 40. And I was like, I'll just photocopy them. And he's like, no, it has to be an original drawing. So he's sitting there like with Parkinson's trying to get all of them done. So I feel kind of bad. But anyway, that wasn't your question. The question was how do I feel?
I guess that it is so incredibly iconic.
Yeah.
And I don't know whether or not you would have recognized how large of an icon it actually is being in the world of it.
Yeah. I think I've always known. Well, the thing is as well, that movie didn't get popular for many years.
Right.
So it came out in 1992, I believe. Anyway, I think it's 1992. And it wasn't popular for a long time. So it was kind of like in my tweens, I noticed it becoming a thing where like friends would be like, your dad did what?
Yeah.
And I'd be like, oh yeah, that's why we lived in America. And like I also went through a bit of a weird emotion with it, as I'm sure my siblings did too, where you don't want to tell everybody because you can get labeled as a Nepo baby, especially in the creative world that we live in. Like the fact that my dad was the art director on Nightmare Before Christmas never did anything for my business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, but I think people think like, oh, he must be loaded because of this like movie that they did, and she probably is like, if she doesn't have any money, she can like fall back on him, which is like not the case as well. So like there's this weird, and you also don't want to like, it sounds a bit braggy. It's an odd thing because I have all these really cool stories and I will pick and choose who I tell them to, because I've had people judge me in the past and be like when I was in my early 20s, I remember overhearing someone being like, my dad worked on that, and mocking me. So I was like, oh my goodness, I hope I'm not like that. And so there's like a bit of an insecurity behind it too. But then...
So I'm just going to put you on blast right now.
No, but the nerd side of me, like as in a good friend of mine who has also been on this podcast, Pat Fox.
Oh, yeah.
We love film. I'm a huge nerd. I love film. I love stop motion. Like I think it's incredible. It's like one of my life's greatest joys is film, and especially because I grew up in a film family. Like of course it is. I also thought that it was everyone else's until like much later in life.
Actually, me and Pat, we share a bunch of
yeah. He's great to talk to about film because he knows everything.
He's a big film nerd.
Whereas I've got all these cool behind the scenes stories. Like, for instance, the reason, you know, Dr. Finkelstein in Nightmare, the scientist guy with the big head, the only reason he's in a wheelchair is because of my dad, because they were filming it and he kept falling over. Like the maquette was too top heavy and they were like, we don't know what to do. And Dad's like, put him in a wheelchair. And so they got him a wheelchair. And little things like the umbrellas that the vampires have, that was my dad, because he was like, they can't be out in the daylight. Like, why has nobody picked up on this? And that's the kind of thing that, like, as the art director, you're meant to do is, like, pick up on those things. But there's also this really funny part where, you know, when Santa's reading through his naughty, nice list and he's like, naughty, naughty, nice, if you pause it, right before he gets to the last one, it says my mum, Joy, and then my sister, my brother, and then my name is meant to be on screen as the next one, but it never made it. And I thought as a kid that my dad did it on purpose. And I was like, oh my God, he's left me out. What did I do? Like, I really thought it was about me. He had nothing to do with that. Like, my name was there. The animators just like cut it off. But yeah, it's weird because I feel really, I have this like passion about it and I'm so excited to tell people these stories, but I don't want to be the one to bring it up because it feels almost like braggy.
No, I see it as like it's the behind the scenes thing, what you were talking about, because it is so massive as a creative piece, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's such it's iconic.
Yeah.
It really is. Just that the silhouette of Jack, or just that, even the simple shape, the head shape.
Yeah.
And it's quintessentially like it's the epitome of Tim Burton.
Sort of.
Well,
I have inside information about
okay.
this.
All right. Well, there you go. Right. And what I see that connection. Like when I think Tim Burton, the image that comes up is Nightmare Before Christmas.
Well, he did design, like all the characters design and the like the look of the film is Tim Burton.
Yeah.
But you know he didn't work on it.
He just signed off on it.
Well, he was doing Batman Returns.
Yeah, okay.
At the exact same time Nightmare was getting made.
Right.
So Henry Selick, who directed Coraline.
Yes.
Coraline is his film.
Yes.
But if you look at Nightmare Before Christmas, the title is Tim Burton's Nightmare Before Christmas.
Mm-hmm.
But that's because he wanted Disney to name it that when Disney bought it, because he wants it to be his film. Because the idea was Tim Burton's idea.
Yeah.
All the concept designs were his ideas, but he didn't actually work on the film.
Right. Okay.
Henry Selick was the director. So obviously everything had to get passed off by Tim.
Mm-hmm.
But like I remember Dad said once, my dad met Danny DeVito, but it's the most iconic story because he had to go to Tim to show him some design concepts in the States. And I think he had to go to the Universal lot because he
on
was
the
filming
set of Batman
he
Returns?
was filming Batman Returns. And Dad said that this like golf buggy came around the corner and like to pick Dad up to take him to set to bring the concepts to Tim Burton. And Danny DeVito was dressed on the back as the penguin. And he was like, hello. Dad went like sat with him and they went as him dressed as the penguin.
Oh, wow.
Isn't that cool?
That is crazy.
See, that's the thing. I get excited talking about it and I love to share these stories because that's cool.
Yeah.
But there is that side where it's like, if I've had a few too many drinks at a party, I can feel myself being like, and then.
But they're all cool. I would love it.
It's only the people that are also nerdy about film that stick around and like encourage me to keep like talking about it. But it does feel.
Speaking of which, I've got.
Yeah, amazing. I noticed. Yeah, so good. Tim Burton was in Sydney last week.
Oh, was he?
Yeah,
What
my
was he
sister
doing?
met him. She would have met him when we were living in the States, but he was touring for Wednesday's
Oh,
the
right.
promo.
Yeah, okay.
And my sister teaches at NIDA.
She
And
teaches at NIDA.
sometimes, yeah.
Oh,
She's a
wow.
costume designer, but she was showing Tim around.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. But apparently everyone was just like, she was like, nobody was talking because it's Tim Burton, right?
Yeah.
And apparently he got out like a little sketchbook at one point to like write something down and everyone was like, like the whole room gasped. And she was like, nobody knew what to do around him.
Wow.
And she was like, I felt like I was talking too much, which is so funny.
It would be awkward having that kind of power.
I was
over
like,
people.
imagine being him. Like, he's also such an oddball and like probably
Yeah.
quite introverted.
Yeah.
It'd be so odd walking into a room and everyone being like, or maybe he likes it. You know, who knows?
Yeah. So anyway, the reason I brought it up is because it's just interesting to see when something's that big and something's that iconic, you see it for what it is, but to be able to pare it back and to get a behind the scenes take on a personal take on it, I think that's where it becomes interesting. And, you know, just the things that you shared, it kind of just made it more human, I guess.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. That's the thing. Like, you got to think about it. It's just like, it is incredible. I think now that you've said it, I don't think I'll ever understand how big it is, especially when I see the merch everywhere.
And well, that's also another thing, right? Because like it's like when you have one of the we're talking about like Nepo kids when their parent is a massive celebrity. To them, it's just a parent.
Yeah,
Right?
it's just my
like,
dad.
You are that attached to this, have a personal attachment to this project.
Yeah.
So you may not really grasp how big of a scale this actual thing is.
Yeah, I don't
And
think
your-
I ever will.
And your dad,
But it's funny how much Nightmare Before Christmas has been my life.
exactly, but like because it has been so, you've been so immersed in it, or it has been part of your life in one way or another.
Yeah.
That it's hard to see it objectively.
Yeah. I don't think I ever will be able to, but I only just realized that.
Yeah. Well,
I think it is such a big scale thing. I think the biggest thing that ever happened with Nightmare that got me close to being like, whoa, like this is incredible, which I obviously know it is incredible. But my dad went to Japan once, and obviously in Japan, Nightmare's
it's massive.
huge.
Yeah.
Huge. In Japan, it's like he got like, anyway, he's treated like a very, very famous person in Japan. And he was
Especially
going,
as an illustrator as well.
yeah, and especially with a time where like stop motion, that was the first feature length stop motion film, I believe.
Really?
Don't hold me to that, but I think it is the first feature length. I'm going to Google that after
Okay.
this. I feel like that's something I should know. But anyway, he went to Japan, and I don't know how it happened, but Miyazaki wanted to meet him.
Ooh.
Like Studio Ghibli, Miyazaki, Totoro, Ponyo. So to me, those films to me, like, they were my favorite.
Yeah.
I would die to go to the Ghibli Museum. Like, I'm such a nerd for that. And it ended up Miyazaki had to fly out and he couldn't meet Dad right at the last minute. But he gifted him this really big, like this huge box. Dad came home with this, like, it was bigger than that coffee table. And he like lift the lid off, and you know everything in Japan is just like so beautifully done. It was the robot from Laputa. You know the is it Castle in the Sky? Now I can't remember the one.
The robot.
Anyway, there's like a big Iron Giant kind of looking robot. I can't believe it. I think it's Laputa.
Okay.
Anyway, it's just like this huge figurine, and he has this handwritten note from Miyazaki, and I remember just being like, "This is because you worked on Nightmare." Like that to me was like, that's as cool. That's
the
as
penny
huge
dropped.
as I felt. That's as big as when the penny dropped, I think.
Yeah.
And I would have been about 13 at that time.
Wow.
Yeah, that kind of made me realize. But as well, like I said, it didn't get popular for many years. So my whole childhood, it was like,
Just the thing Dad
he
did.
may as well have worked on like, I can't think of anything small now as an example. Like, he worked on All Dogs Go to Heaven too. Like, he may as well, you know what I mean? Like, he may as well have just like, that was his claim to fame. Like, nothing happened with it.
Yeah. Well. Yeah.
And the older I get, the more iconic it is.
It doesn't. It won't die out. It's cemented its place in, I guess, in Christmas lore.
Yeah.
Right? It's there.
That's the thing, yeah.
Yeah, it's there with Mariah Carey.
Yes, you're absolutely
quite
right.
honestly is
for
like-
the emos.
Yeah, so I think it's beautiful that your dad created something, left his fingerprints on something that is pretty much going to be forever lasting.
I think our whole family feels incredibly lucky for that.
Yeah, because it's rare to have, as you know, a creative to create something, and maybe at the time, knowing or not knowing how big it was going to be, I guess not.
He had no idea.
Yeah, and then just having done something and poured so much of your love and energy into it, and then decades later seeing it become what it is, like it's got to be, you know,
Yeah.
it hits you in a special space.
Yeah, definitely. And like the way he got the job is so cool as well. How much time have we got?
I don't know, actually. It was,
What time is it? I'll
It's
tell
almost
you
one.
anyway. I'll tell you.
Yeah,
but then
go.
we'll I won't get too deep into it. So basically, my dad was working for Hanna-Barbera.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm actually named after Hanna-Barbera's assistant. Her name was Ginger,
Oh,
who I
right.
never met. So dad was working for Hanna-Barbera in Australia, and this was in the time where there were only fax machines. There wasn't there email? No.
No.
There was no email. There was no internet. So just fax machines, and that was it. That was your way of communicating. So his ties to America, I think, was like Ren and Stimpy, Cow and Chicken, Hanna-Barbera world. And so he was friends with animators in the States and like people in the industry in the States. And when Nightmare started and Henry Selick, who was the director, started to go around to like get crew members. He was looking for an art director. And as he was going around to each studio, he saw my dad's drawings up on all the walls because they were just friends and would send each other like stupid faxes of like, here's a drawing I've done of like this stupid thing. And everywhere he went, my dad's drawings were up everywhere. And then after a certain amount of studio visits, he was like, who is this guy? Let me get in contact with him. And so Henry called Dad and explained like Nightmare Before Christmas to him on the phone. And he was like, yeah, that all sounds really good, but can I call you back? He shut him down and was like, I'm wrapping up a job right now. I've got a deadline to get to. Can I like call you in a week or like tomorrow or whatever, whenever the timeline was? And Henry was like, yeah. And so Henry was like, I'm going to keep looking, but couldn't find anyone. And then they ended up hooking up and then the rest is history.
Yeah, wow.
So fax machines is how Dad got the job on Nightmare Before Christmas.
Wow.
Yeah, pretty funny.
Man.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful way to wrap up this podcast.
Yeah.
I think. But in the meantime, because you just finished off a big exhibition or a open studio.
Yeah.
And you've been taking a bit of time just trying to recalibrate.
Yeah.
What's next on the horizon?
My time recalibrating is never, as soon as one thing finishes, I'm like, what's next? What I noticed at that exhibition is I had like a little pop-up shop as a part of it. And then we do the Coburg Makers Markets in my studio building once every 2 months, bi-monthly. And the market stall at the exhibition did really well and got me really excited to do new merch. So ever since the exhibition has stopped, I have spent all the money I made on the exhibition just getting new stock. So
cool.
My online store is closed right now for the first time in like years because I'm going to kind of do a bit of a relaunch with like, I think I have like 7 new pins that I've done, a bunch of motel keychains. Like I just really kind of really loved the market. So I'm like, I want to get my shop up and running again and hopefully have enough stock to do like kind of a pop-up shop around Christmas time.
Perfect.
But that's kind of just like what I'm doing and then client work at the same time. And now I'm going to make space to do my children's book.
Do it. I want to say it. I think it all makes sense. Like the fact
about
that
a hot dog and a seagull.
Perfect.
So it's as manic as it sounds. But yeah, that's pretty much all I've got going on. And then I'll just see what happens.
Cool. That's it.
Yeah.
Ginger Taylor, thank you very much.
Thank you. This was, again, I've forgotten that we were even doing a podcast because this was such a nice chat.
It was fun. It was a fun chat.
It was good. Thank you for having me.